So when I look at a home for a potential, I'm going to start over again. There's plenty of hot button issues in the real estate market here in the GTA, but nothing creates more anxiety and anger than what's going on with the housing prices and multiple offer situations that are manufactured by the home sellers and the listing agents. First, it's really important to understand that there are two sides to this particular story. There's the buyer's side, where there's a lot of frustration, pent-up anxiety, but there's also the seller side, where they're really just trying to get the most bang for their buck. In some of these cases, these sellers are having to now go back into that buyer's market, the same one that the buyers are all fighting for. These sellers are going to have to go into the buyer's market, and their money has to go a long way. So really understanding that there is a seller side to this story as well. One of the biggest sort of feedback things that I'm getting is that there's got to be a way to control the bid process, or to make sure that there's some sort of even playing field here. One of the things that I had a really great idea on was to actually legislate some sort of rules around the offer and how much the home is being offered for. So my idea was essentially to say, if a seller puts a property on the market, let's say at $999,000, and they get a full ask or better offer with no conditions, they're obligated to accept it. So I put this out on my social media feed, and I actually got a great response from Jessica Lombard. She's my counterpart in Montreal. She sells quite a bit of high-end luxury real estate in Montreal. She understands the market there. What she told me was really interesting. They have a rule there that if they get a full ask offer meeting all the conditions of the seller, and the seller refuses that offer, then they're liable for the commissions payable, which actually puts the real estate agent in a position of power to make sure that they're actually getting paid for the work done. An interesting take, because I don't think that we have the same respect for our industry here in Ontario, but it'd be nice to see that change. First and foremost, to understand what's happening in the Toronto marketplace, you have to understand why multiple offers are happening and why real estate agents are undervaluing properties in the marketplace. So the reason why we're seeing offers coming in that are $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 over asking is because the property is purposefully marketed undervalued. The goal here is to bring in as many offers as possible so that the value of the property can be pushed up as high as possible. So on an offer night, what's happening behind the scenes is you're getting three types of buyers. You're getting your first buyer who comes in thinking that they're going to get a deal, that maybe they haven't done their research and they're not very well prepared for where the property is going to end up at the end of the night. Your second buyer are the ones that understand that the property is undervalued, but they don't quite understand just how much. So they'll come in, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15% over that ask price. Now your final buyers are the ones who have been in the market for a while or who truly understand where the values are on the property. They're the ones that come in that 20 to 30% over that asking price. And usually there's 2 or 3 or 4, sometimes more of them that are coming in at these really high numbers. That's when the bidding war starts, where you have several offers, 2 or more, that are really close together on price. What will happen is the real estate agent and the sellers will send those people back to make improvements to the offer. Sometimes this goes through multiples, where we go back and back and back until that we get to a price where we have somebody that's clearly differentiated themselves from the rest of the pack, and that's where you get your winner. This could take hours, all night sometimes, up until 11 o'clock at night, doing offers, trying to get a clear winner on a particular property. So if you're wondering why properties are selling for $300,000 over ask, you should be asking yourself instead, why was that property marketed at 30% below market value in order to get all of these bids is the answer. So until there's something put in place to stop multiple offers from happening, or to put the buyers into the driver's seat, we do have to deal with multiple offer situations and inflated home prices. So the question is, how do you win in a multiple offer situation? What I like to do as a representative of my clients is to make sure that they have all of the information available to them. Not just what's sold in the neighborhood, but why is this particular house going to sell for, say, 20 or 30% over asking? In a lot of cases, if you're going to buy a house in a particular neighborhood, you don't have any choice but to get into competition. So at the very least, what we can do is arm you with the things that you need to make a good decision. For example, all of the comparables, the automated valuation tool that's available to us as real estate agents that really digs deep and tells you, what the insurance companies are going to value this at, what your mortgage lender is going to value it at, and then taking a look deeper into what's happening in the market. How many houses are for sale, and if there was no new inventory came on, how long until there's nothing left? So this really tells us a story of supply and demand, and it allows us to be able to get out in front of maybe what other buyers are thinking that the property is worth. Maybe you have to pay a little bit more, but you win. That being said, you're making a conscious decision instead of one that's based on emotion. You're going into it knowing exactly how much you're going to spend and why.